Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to go ahead and cover Gala again. Got a lot of requests for this one. Once more, of course, trying to find out how much higher it could go. And we'll go ahead and talk about best case scenario here today, but also kind of look at the current data and see what's going on. If you are new to the channel, I hope that you are having a great day. And of course, here to learn a little something. I try to teach as much as I can in my videos, of course. And that's the main reason why I created this channel as well as my trading community. I also rolled out with the Trading Academy this month on the 1st. And I have signals that I send out for every single trade that I take. So kind of a one-stop shop. If you want to become a better trader, check that out. CryptoCache.tech is the website. Now, taking a look here, of course, at Gala. Something to note, and it's pretty obvious. I think you can probably see this here. This yellow line, or orange line rather, is coming right straight down, right intersecting with the current price action. And what that just means is that's basically the 50-day set moving average, and that is notoriously a strong support or resistance level on the one-day time frame. Okay, so ultimately it didn't matter in the past because it just blew right past it, right? Came back down to try to test as a support, lost that support, now it's considered a resistance. So until we can break back above, it's considered to be a resistance. We need to respect the fact that that will and could likely hold the price action down. No guarantees, of course. The 50-day set moving average works, I would say, 60-70% of the time as a resistance initially, and then once it's broken, it could potentially and likely should retain as a support level soon. Right now, not to say that the price is going to keep going straight down with the moving average. That's not exactly how it works. But what it could just imply is that we might have a couple of days of consolidation before it can effectively leg up and close above. But until we get the candlestick to close above that moving average, then and only then we'll be able to consider that to be a support level. Right now, good news is here on the RSI, even though it's extremely overextended here in this little segment, we're still not considered to be overbought. Right. That is a good sign. That basically means we have more gas left in the tank, so Gala could very well continue to increase higher, right? So again, that is a strong likelihood there. And as I mentioned yesterday, we just broke above the 50 in the RSI. I said to exercise caution, move your stop loss up. If you want to take profits, go ahead. I hope that some of you did, of course, but if you didn't, obviously you benefit a little bit more from here today. Now that's all well and good, but again, I'm always going to emphasize taking profits when you can, right? You don't necessarily have to always consider closing your position, but generally speaking, oftentimes when you have a overextension like we saw yesterday, you traditionally don't see a second day worth of continuation, at least not normally. Once again, Gala is a different story. It's done this before, so I did urge caution as well on the fact that it could very well happen, and the fact that, shoot, next 3 or 4 days, we could literally be back up to 50, 60 cents. That's likelihood, right? That's just the way that this coin goes. But what goes up must come down. You got to understand that, Bitcoin isn't out of the doghouse just yet. If there is a correction from Bitcoin, we might see a correction from Gala too. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, this being a weekend, there's not a lot of movement from Bitcoin. It's kind of been pretty much stagnant at 41,500, 41.6 for basically 48 hours, which is just fine. It's testing the resistance of 42,000. But if it comes down to 40,000, which I'm anticipating in the near future perhaps, then I think the Gala will possibly correct maybe even further. Just be mindful of that. That's all I'm asking. All right, so all in all, good stuff here on the one-day chart telling us we still got room left. 4-hour chart might be a different story. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here. Now, technically speaking, we are overextended. And when I covered it yesterday, we were right at this point here where we had a couple of double dojis. It looked like it was going to want to reverse, and it just took off, right? So that's all well and good. Now that we're here, we got to understand that we need some time to consolidate. Yes, it's consolidated for almost about 24 hours. I guess you could say more 16-ish. That's a good sign, but I think we need more to be able to get that next leg up, right? Because again, this went up too high too fast. This is not a staircase pattern. This is a very steep staircase pattern, right? These are like really tall bleachers, and it's not easy to get up something like that, right? You're likely to fall if you try to go up. So just be mindful of the fact that it is showing extreme signs of overexhaustion. It needs to consolidate and retrace soon, or it's not going to be pretty, if that makes any sense, right? If Bitcoin does correct the way that maybe we expect, then Gala could very well correct as well. Good news is it got the 200-day set moving average working right around 27, 28 cents, and that could work as a potential support. So if we were to lose, just say 31 cents here, I would say the next most immediate stronger support levels would be 29 cents and right around 27. So 27 to 29 is a nice little support range that we could and should likely hold if we see a correction from Bitcoin. Okay, so that just implies that you might want to have your stop loss somewhere around the 25, 26 range just in case. Okay, now once again, Bitcoin corrects to 40,000. How hard is Gala going to correct? Probably not that hard considering how low it is overall in the big picture, right? We got to understand this was, trying to push upwards of $1 only 2.5 months ago. Okay, so once again, it can definitely get back up there. I do think we could see a 2x from Gala in the next month or two. I think that's very likely. But for right now, I would just exercise a little bit of caution because this is a lot of movement in a small amount of time. Okay, I always want to make sure to recommend that. So once again, the 4-hour definitely looks overextended. RSI is extremely high. 85 on the RSI. Come on, we can't sustain that for much longer. So if the price goes sideways for 2 or 3 more days, it'll just slowly start to taper off, and we'll see the RSI kind of come back down naturally, and that's what we want because it's considered to be overbought. Something's overbought, people are going to plan to sell, right? And just know the whales are going to be back in the office here in the next 24 hours. There could be a cause for a retracement then. Okay, so again, just some friendly advice: be cautious and careful. I like to be the the good head on your shoulders, so to speak, that tries to tell you to pump the brakes once in a while. Okay, I hope you understand and we can respect that, because yes, you could have gambled and made a lot more on this one, but nothing wrong with taking profits while you can. You want to get in the mindset of doing that because that's a really important way of being a profitable trader. A successful Gala 60% trade doesn't make up for 5 or 10, 15 to 30% losses because you held on too long, right? Just try to remember that. Okay, moving on to Ichimoku Cloud, we'll call it a day here. We are almost intersecting with the price, okay? So that is what? How many hours? It's about 6 hours, and we're going to have an intersection with the price action. So if Gala does not leg up soon, lagging span will intersect with the price action, and that will give us a sell signal from the Ichimoku Cloud. Now, if you're new to the channel, Ichimoku Cloud is just a really good indicator of helping us understand how to be conservative and to get in and get out while the trend is moving in your direction, right? Because you've heard the term, the trend is your friend. And I'm sure if you've heard that before, then you kind of understand that this is a pretty strong trend, but this trend is coming to an end, right? And if it comes to an end, you may want to cut your losses or take your profits rather, right? Because you're not at a loss. The likelihood of you being at a loss here, unless you've held on for a long time, is pretty low, right? So therefore, if in the next 6 hours we don't get a price increase, I would consider trimming some of your positions. Again, you don't have to close your whole bag or whatever it is you have. And when I say take profits, that's different for everyone, right? Whatever your risk tolerance is, you'll do that. Me, for example, when I hit my first profit target, I like to shoot for 60, 70, 80% of my first target. That way, if it comes all the way back down to my entry point, I'm still profitable, right? Then what I do is I let that other half or whatever percentage is left, let it ride to my next profit target. Because once again, you always set 3 profit targets before you take a trade. If you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong, because you shouldn't just get in and get out whenever you feel like it. That's not how good trading works. Good trading is figuring out where you want to go and how you're going to get there, and how you're going to get out if you don't get there, right? So again, these are all little things that I cover in my Trading Academy, but simply put, if we look at the Ichimoku Cloud, we can see the lagging span is free and clear of any price action, right? So 6 more hours and we're good, right? But in that 6-hour time frame, once we intersect with this price action here, that's a sell signal to get out of our position if we have a long position, right? And that basically just tells us that what goes up must come down is kind of that natural law, because every single, for the most part, a good trade or a good trend is one that goes up and down, right? It continues. One that goes like this is not healthy, right? We are pretty much seeing that right now. So the fact that it's consolidating right now is good, but if it doesn't continue to consolidate and it tries to go up again, we're going to see it come down. Okay. So again, just some friendly advice there. Be cautious in this scenario here. It's showing signs of extreme overextension on the midterm. Yes, we have a little bit more room for improvement on the 1-day chart. We could see it continue to increase, but if we don't see it go sideways for another 12 to 24 hours, we're going to be in a world of hurt, especially if Bitcoin corrects itself, right? And what's the first thing that people do when Bitcoin corrects itself? They sell their most profitable coins. Gala is likely the most profitable coin right now for anyone in the industry that's investing, because of the fact that it's the highest percent yield over the last 2 trading days. Okay? Again, green weekends mean red weekdays sometimes, okay? So just be mindful of that. Again, put that in your bag or whatever you call it. Anyways, I hope I haven't beaten a dead horse here. I hope I got the point across. Just again, be cautious. Make sure you work within your risk tolerance. Set goals before you get into a trade. And always record your trades so you can learn from them. All right, again, these are all things I reiterate in my Trading Academy. Make sure you watch that again if you're currently a community member and you maybe watched through the first time, or maybe just arbitrarily were listening on the side. Try to take notes, try to learn from it, because I can assure you that that is just years of my knowledge helping try to educate you to be a better trader, okay? Again, I only want what's in your best interest. At this point, Gala is looking like it needs to calm down and chill out, or it's going to have some trouble. That being said, if it were to continue to progress higher, right, let's just say hypothetically, over the last 4 trading days, right, we see the same amount of increase. So let's just go to the hypothetical here for a moment. If we got 4 more trading days like we just saw here today, which is possible, right? Likely? Not really. No, it's less likely, but it's definitely possible. If that were to happen and we're to get that same increase, it would be a 50% increase from the 100% we've seen so far here. The price would be upwards about 53 cents in the next 4 trading days. Do not walk away from this video thinking it's going to hit 53 cents in 4 trading days. That's not what I'm getting at. That's what could happen if it were to get there, right? That's the best case scenario. But again, it's got a lot of room for failure between now and then, because there are some resistance levels we got to be aware of, right? 37 cents was the previous resistance, could not pass. 53 cents was the previous resistance, could not pass. What do you know? Those are both major Fibonacci retracement levels. Ding. Okay. All right. So I hope you're understanding. So what you should do is, if you have a profit target in place, your third profit target with only 10% left in your portfolio should maybe be 53 cents. The other profit target should be realistic, either already right where you're at now, or at the very least 35, 40, and 43 cents. Okay. Somewhere in that range. All right, so hopefully you understand what I'm getting at here by now. Again, that's a best case scenario, not exactly the case, but it could very well happen. Okay. So between now and then, we just kind of got to learn to respect the current levels. And for right now, 36.5 cents is a very strong resistance. Okay. Be mindful of that. When we break that, we'll reevaluate and take a look. I'll keep Gala on my dailies for the moment here, of course, because I got a lot of requests. I'll make sure we cover this again. But I hope that you learned something here today. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you're not currently a member, CryptoCache.tech. We'll see you soon. Take care.